Right now we're watching the Capitol situation on January 6th when the folks stormed the Capitol. And you're watching it unravel a little bit because so many people have been arrested. Over 700 people have been arrested. Thousands of people have been looked at. 159 people have said they were guilty. People are going to jail. The longest I've seen in jail has been 4 years, but a lot of them have been months. But you hear people complaining they were involved in that situation. They say they lost their jobs, lost their families, they're being excluded in their communities. And it's like people don't support that. People don't support what they did. We don't believe in what they did. It's the silent majority is the majority. And even though they've been silent, they don't agree with it. But the reason why I was bringing it up is because, people say Trump encouraged it. And he did. He's a charismatic figure. And he comes across so believable what he says. I'll listen to him speak right now, and it's like, yeah, you seem so believable. And he seems so likable too. But the things he does to me is it's horrible for the country. The things he tries, like the voter fraud talk, he seems so believable when he talks about voter fraud, but we know it's not true. We all know it's not true. Unless you want to believe it, you'll believe it. Just because you want to believe it, whatever your personal reasons are. But logically, intellectually, we know it's not true. But the problem is not just that he steers people into the directions such as those folks that marched the Capitol. The problem is his lack of leadership. I just don't feel like he has genuine, strong leadership. And it's this lack of leadership is giving people permission to do things that normally they wouldn't do. This is during his term, his 4 years. Hundreds of people marched the Capitol. People were killed. And that's from lack of leadership, that they think it's okay to do that. Across the country, you've had many instances where people were using racial slurs against all sorts of people, brown people, Asian Americans, whatever it is, and thinking it's okay to do that. And it's lack of leadership. And when people commit these acts, they find out that there's consequences. You see it time and time again. Somebody uses a racial slur against somebody else, and then there's a physical confrontation, and they act surprised as if they didn't expect that. Or this person would clap back against, or this person would call the police, and they would be the one being arrested. It's like you have, when you don't have leadership, you have this false sense of security of things you can do in society that you can't do, because for the most part you have policies and laws that protects all of us. And yeah, there's bias and there's situations that are unfair, but really though, in this time period, there's policies and laws that protect all of us. You even see in situations people trying to do the stand my ground situation with folks or with people, thinking that they have permission to follow people around or be vigilantes, and they find out that it's the biggest mistake of their lives, because this vigilante choice that they made is costing them their own lives. Being in prison, or they killed somebody unintentionally, whatever it is. So whenever you don't have direction and leadership, people think that they can do anything and everything, and that there's no consequences, as it was 100 years ago. But that's not the case today. And Biden, in my opinion, is struggling a little bit with popularity because you have this carryover from this lack of leadership where these people who have shown themselves in society, like roaches, you turn on a light, you see the roaches. So they've shown themselves, and it's going to be hard for the roaches or these people to get rid of that feeling that they can do just anything they want, that they have to be accountable for what they do. So it's going to take a little while for people to get used to that, but that's all I have.